Figuring out which tires you want to buy for your next car can be a big decision because they're going to be with you for a long time. And if there's something you don't like the stopping ability or how the road noise or, wow, this really hurts my gas mileage, you can be an unhappy person, especially if you get a tire that'll last you, 85,000 miles or something, or like 5 years or whatever. So, what resources did I use to put together this huge document that has consumer reports data, TireRack survey data, and then the actual specs for the tires, including like the weight, the max load, the UTQG, which is a subjective tire tread analysis, higher numbers better, and then they also have like a wet skid test. So a double A is the best, A is good. B is not quite as good as A. So like a double A is like the best. But this particular one has like a low tread wear, but a better performance, in wet conditions. So thought that was kind of interesting. Max load, you don't want to pile up your car on family vacations if it's going to exceed the max load by too much, because when you hit a bump it goes up and then it goes down even harder. You're more at risk for hurting your tire for like a blowout. And then like how heavy is your tire, because that might affect rolling resistance. Some of the other categories were so the consumer reports was cool because they had like a max, so I found like wet braking 3 was the max and all the tires tested. So I do green for the best, 2 for not the best, and fortunately we didn't have any 1s. And then dry braking, that 4 was the max, so that would be the green. So you could be able to quickly see like, oh wow, this has a ton of great stuff. Oh, however, the rolling resistance will hurt my gas mileage. Oh, this has a ton of great stuff and there's no downside. Oh, that looks like a pretty good car. And then TireRack actually has a lot of cool data. So how did I get the consumer reports stuff? So logged into consumer reports, so your library sometimes has login, and then I manually typed in the data from after I put in my tire. It showed all the ones and set them in order by overall score. And this, I believe they have like Consumer Reports has a standardized track where they then rate everything consistently, at least do their best. So that was pretty cool to actually have, see some of the statistics and stuff. I did notice that the tested tread life, I didn't see any General Ultimax RT43s with 80,000 mile warranties. All of them had like 75,000 warranties. So these you kind of got to check. Michelin Defenders were actually at 80,000 mile warranties. So I don't know if they had, I don't know if these initially had higher mileage warranties when they first came out or what. But so just be careful about that and actually get your tread life, from where you're going to be buying it from. And then the price, who knows how close that is. So different places have cheap, different things. TireRack tends to be one of the cheaper ones, but they don't tend to have as many deals on the tires that are popular. They have deals on the tires that are not popular and they need to sell them. Anyway, so put all this data. So as you can see, Michelin Defender, Ultimax, True Contact, the Falcons, Yokohama Avid Ascend. So you'll see a lot of those over here. And then I was able to copy and paste the stuff that we got from TireRack. We meaning me. So TireRack, cool place. What do you do here? Well, you can go to tires. You can do like test results. And actually, let's go tires, test result charts and reviews. And then you can test, you can see like standard touring is different than grand touring. Grand touring is like more performance oriented with a shorter life of tire. So like a more stiff, ride, like, oh, I want to go fast. And standard touring, but still have good grip and stuff. But standard touring is like, we want it to last a long time. It's the economy tire. So it lasts longer and is about the same price. So it's better value per mile. So I combined both the grand touring and the standard touring into my data. So I was able to copy this stuff and post that into here as well. So that's, and I was able to match them all up and stuff. So That was cool. So now you can see like dark green's the best, green is good, yellow not so good. So that was pretty cool. And you can see how it has a standard touring versus grand touring. Yeah, the biggest difference is often that the grand touring has lower mileage warranties, and these are the THV. Those are all speed ratings. T is like the lower speed rating that you usually get the best mileage warranty on. So unless you're, someone that's for some reason has a place where you can go 130 miles an hour on a regular basis, T is probably all you need. So that's probably what I'm going to be getting. Because sometimes they give you like a prorated rebate if your tires wear out to 2/32 of an inch left of tread life left, which can be useful. Just make sure you rotate them regularly and keep your records. So TireRack data is from customer surveys, so it's pretty subjective, but at least gives you a pretty broad overview. I kind of prioritize the consumer reports a little bit more because they actually did the tire testing data. But one of the things I really liked was that TireRack had these videos and actual tests of some stuff, and I wanted to show that to you. So what you can do is when you find a tire, like found Costco was having a sale on the Michelin Defender T&H, and that was one of the top rated ones, so great. So when you go to TireRack test results, I can't remember if that was, test results, I think. You can select the drop down with, once you save your car, it'll select a drop down with the something you want to be able to compare it to. So I was able to open these two, and you can see that Michelin Defender T&H is outperformed by Continental True Contact Tour. Now there are oftentimes more deals on the Michelin Defender from Costco, because that's one of the things they carry, and Costco is good about getting a sale once or twice a year. Michelin, as one of their primary distributors, buy 3 get 1 free, sometimes with cheaper free installation, or either between free installation and $20 installation with lifetime rotations and stuff, which is cool. But you have to have like the $50 a year or whatever membership. So is that worth it? And then, so the Continental True Contact Tour outperforms it. Higher is better. Higher is better. See how it's constantly doing better. Constantly doing better. Especially in wet. The Michelin Defender is like, ooh, yeah, what do I really want? So lower is better. Michelin's are not doing so great. And the Goodyear Assurance Max Life is not available in the Prius, so I kind of have to ignore that, unfortunately. It just doesn't come in that size. But, and this was tested at a different size tire, but it's still like the tread patterns and stuff are the same, so we'd expect similar results. So that was cool, and you can actually, they have like test result videos that kind of go through some of that too. So that's kind of cool. The spider charts can be kind of interesting. If you want to see, which one does what better, and it's like, wow, this does everything better. The Contact Tour does everything better. Fine, okay. So that kind of raised the Continental True Contact Tour higher. However, the True Contact Tour isn't directly compared to the General Ultimax, unfortunately, which got the highest ratings in consumer reviews. Or consumer reports, which is like, shucks. So I try to see what I could do. Now, you got to be careful, because tires do have like model years. They're kind of like cars, where they change every couple years or few years. So this is from 2010, so this is actually an older version of the General Ultimax. So you got to be careful with that. And, Avid Touring, yeah, there's still an Avid Touring, but it's not the S version. It's like, So you got to be careful when looking at these, but the older version of the Ultimax was better than the Avid Touring Yokohama. So it's kind of like, okay, take it with a grain of salt, but keep that in mind. Usually build on their old technology. And then you can sometimes expect similar results, but it's good to verify if possible. So again, this was hey, True Contact Tour outperforms Michelin. So I was able to then, once I had all the data, I was able to move up and down based off of any comparisons I see, often with TireRack, or if I saw some other stuff online that made sense. And then I was able to do the drop down for General Ultimax. And then with a lot of those, the quick summaries, I was able to put a lot of the comments in there. so that they kind of be fresh, because actual tire tests. One interesting thing was the Avid Ascend has a better warranty, like 85,000 miles, versus the Ultimax, which has only 75,000 miles. But it was showing that, oh, the Ultimax really outperforms the Avid Ascend. So it's kind of like, okay, for an extra 10,000 miles at a similar price, do you want more performance or an extra, 2/3 of a year of warranty, which may or may not be worth it. How much difference in price will it be at that point per mile and everything. When you still might have to pay for balancing and remounting depending on where you buy it from. But yeah, take a look at I took a look at the spider charts, and the Ultimax tended to be pretty on the outside, so it's kind of like, okay. So Consumer Reports is saying the General Ultimax is like one of the best. Some of this stuff is saying that this is better than the Avid Ascent, which is right around here for right around the same place as Michelin Defender. So trying to look at all these data points, and as I get more information, making comments. Got this from CR, got this from TireRack. Only 4 out of 4. Like in the general, like this has. These 3 have, or these 3 have like 4.5 out of 5 ratings. This one only has 4.5 out of ratings on TireRack. Why would that be if Consumer Reports is saying that these are the best? So yeah, so you get conflicting information, but how do you deal with it? You document it, and then just as you get more information, you move stuff up and down the ranking. So that's what I've been doing so far, and then now I'm trying to figure out like where's the best place to get it. One of the cool things I learned was Costco, Sam's, Walmart, pretty cool places to get stuff, but one of the Discount Tire can actually give you, they do price matching, and I think, and Discount Tire Lifetime. Let's see what it gives us. We'll rotate and balance the tires you purchase from any of our Discount Tire stores for the life of the tires. So, rotating tires at like Firestone, you can get done for $10, but apparently you're supposed to, do them pretty frequently, almost with every oil change even. So yeah, if you have to do them that frequently, $10 adds up over time. If you rotate your tires, 2-3 times a year. So yeah, so having something with lifetime alignment and or lifetime rotation, balancing is also interesting that it's at Discount Tire. Most places may not have balancing included. But yeah, the ones I mentioned, like Costco, Sam's Club, and Discount Tire seem to have the rotate balance, but Sam's Club and Costco need that membership card that you need to keep active each year, so that can be an added expense. So something to keep in mind. All right, well, just wanted to share that, though. So was able to get a lot of information about a bunch of different tires. And this has been very useful, because when I called into Toyota asking them, hey, which tire do you guys recommend for my '07 Prius? They said, well, we're gonna say you should get the Firestone FR710. When can we put those on for you? And I was like, yeah, can you tell me the mileage warranty on those? Oh yeah, they're 40,000. All right, let me look that up. Oh, it's 40,000. Yeah. It's a great tire. It's what they came with. They didn't actually come with that, but I actually found out what it came with. Stock 07 base actually came with the Pirelli P0 Nero and the Goodyear Integrity, which I thought was funny. But they said that at the dealership, oh yeah, it came with these. But yeah, a dealership would want to sell you the Firestone F10, for, I think they said it was about $100. So that's probably a little cheaper online. And then they charge like $25 for installation, maybe an extra $5 to reset the tire pressure monitoring system. Like, an installation can really, get up there, especially if you have the TPMS, and they might need to change the valve stems. So some places are charging extra for replacing the valve stems. Some places charge extra for replacing the TPMS sensor. So the installation charges, you got to be careful. So take a look at that when picking a place as well. Usually calling the individual store might be your best bet, because not all places may go with what they have been doing, and plus things change over time. So hope this has been helpful and useful. Currently, so far with my with what I've been able to see so far, it seems like the General Ultimax, even though it's considered a sub-brand, like a lower tier of Continental, it tends to outperform it according to many things, or at least be equal to. But it is also, like $14 cheaper per tire, $60 almost, tax. $60 cheaper, but I'm not seeing a huge difference. Potentially slightly lower noise quality, but potentially worse wet braking, according to Consumer Reports. When I think so. Yeah, it's something to be a little bit, like, do I want to pay $60 more for a tire that only gets 5,000 more mileage warranty? May not be worth it, the Yokohama Avidison, but if either of these were any of these were on sale, like I'd probably take them. So I don't want to pay like $120 more for something of very comparable performance. But Costco did have that 3-for-1 deal with potentially free installation. I asked him how much would the tires cost, and he said like $325 or something. I was like, whoa, that's so cheap. But I don't know if he included installation or if installation was free on the promo that they had, so I'm going to be calling to confirm. Anyway, hope this has been helpful, useful, and hopefully you learned a little bit about some of these statistics on some of the tires. All right, talk to you later.